Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode here with JP Hightek. Very excited to have you guys again joining the live stream. Another episode with another gladiator today. Right behind the scenes you saw during the countdown, we were jamming on the beats and talking about fun stuff that we're about to address in this show today. For those of you who do not know, folks, this is Content Creators University, where we connect with one of the best content creators on the planet. I call them professors, right? What they do is come on the show to teach us things that you and I will need to learn in order to improve our experience as a content creator, as a producer, as a live streamer, or simply as a person that likes to create, because our motto here is three things: create, impact, and innovate, right? So we want to learn how to create, impact, and innovate through our videos, our live streams, our productions, and everything we got going on. So as you guys know, yesterday we had another professor, Charles Jackson, that showed us behind the scenes, his camera lenses, his screens, his lights, like his Elgato, his desk, powerful desk. I mean, really fun stuff. For those of you who missed that episode, go ahead and check on the channel. Amazing things. If you're all about improving your set, if you're a YouTuber and you're asking yourself, what are the things that I will need in order to have a professional set? When we're talking about professional, there's a reason why we say professional, right? I'm not saying necessarily having the tons of gear makes you a professional, but it's all about understanding the gear you have, why you have it, and what you can do with the specific gear. Well, a lot of things we will be discussing today with India. She has a lot of experience, but at the same time, she's going to teach us how she's juggling her busy daytime job with her nighttime job, which is passion, content creation, and just going out loud and connecting with communities through Ecamm and her own company. I mean, a lot of awesome things going on. A lot of us, we have daytime jobs. So what is the best way to do it and also avoid burnout? Burnout is a big deal. We do not want to burn out. So let's talk about all that before she comes in. Well, this show is sponsored by RTN Streams. Before we talk about RTN Streams, for those of you who want to, up your game and the presentation, having interesting visuals like this overlays that I have in this video, you can get some free overlays just by heading to RTN Streams. Let me run the ad for the sponsor. We'll be right back. Let's go. saw nice overlays that you can use and improve your setup if you do not have time or you do not know how to create it. But if you want to create it, there are lots of free tutorials, not only on this channel, but in the community for you to learn how to do it yourself. But if you do not want to do that and you want somebody else did it, you just want to get it, put it on your, production and keep it running, well, go check out rtnstreams.com. Now, for those of you who do not know what RTN Streams is, well, RTN Streams is your high-end video decoder. If you're using something like Ecamm that I'm using right now to broadcast this live stream, Ecamm is your encoder, right? It sends the signal out. Now, you need a powerful tool if you want to take your live stream to a higher level, like CNN, Fox TV station type of things, or you want to have your own private webinars, or you just want to go out loud and have your own OTT platform, like having your Android TV application or your Roku app or your Fire TV, and have that content synchronized throughout all the platform in your website. Well, you need a solution that can, provide you that. Ecamm or OBS or anything like that does not allow you to do that, right? So you need a solution that will encode that and allow you to use that synchronized across all platforms. Really powerful things. If you want to do that, go check them out. Really, really awesome things, right? So now I'm about to bring our guest over, but before we bring her over, let me tell you what we got up next, right? Next weekend coming up. So here is the list of gladiators that we are going to have on the show right there. As you can see, we have Tom Buck. Tom Buck will be joining us here on the Content Creators University May 12th. Very excited. He's going to be talking to us about going as well full time as a content creator. I mean, he decided to go full time. We want to check and see how it's been, and also how to improve your journey, right, and get followers and how to manage that. Very important. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, and Tom Buck is a tech junkie. If you know his channel, go check him out. Really, really awesome things. So if you want to watch it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Amazing things coming up. So besides Tom Buck, we have somebody else coming, right? We have Alicia Way. Yes, sir. You heard it. Alicia will be joining the gladiators on this channel as well. He will be here on May 18th. And Alicia is going to be talking to us about how we can not only improve our setup and understand what we have, we'll be taking a look at his behind the scenes as well, but how to make money from it, right? We want to know how to monetize the things that we're doing. So join the conversation on May 18th with Alicia Way on this channel. Subscribe, like, share this awesome things coming up for you guys. And we also have somebody else coming right here, Felicia Alston. Also, will be joining the list. We love her. She's part of the admin right there with Ecamm community right on Facebook. And she has a phenomenal studio, folks. I mean, phenomenal studio, and we're about to take a look at that, how she planned everything, why does she have the things she has, and how did she set it up, right, so that we can all learn and understand how we should do things and whether we need it or not, because not everything you see in the studio will work for you. You have all types of live streaming setups in studio, on set, all kinds of things. So we want to understand that, and not just for live, but also to be producing remotely, and also your pre-recorded video. So awesome things. But now let's talk about our guest today. Her name is India Delgado, and I'm saying Delgado correctly because I learned the hard way. I put the wrong letter. But I say Delgado, but it's Delgado with a D-O. Wonderful person. I love her personality, and she has a lot to share. All right. You may check it out and say, oh, she's new to YouTube. Yeah, being new to YouTube doesn't mean you're new to the industry, folks. All right, let's get one thing straight. And she has a lot to share, and she's a phenomenal person. When I say phenomenal, I love her spirit, the way she connects with people, easygoing. And this is India, and we're about to bring her on the, on the dashboard here and connect with her. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring her over. Hey, India, how's it going?
Was cracking. What's going on,
cracking?
Man?
Already, India. Folks didn't know that prior to you coming here. We're live, right? We're live, and I am very, very excited. Why?
Yeah.
I'm gonna let them know why. I am the first to get India after a month of no stream.
Yeah. The first one. I haven't even been on Ladies Night, man.
Hey,
I'm doing your stream before I've done my own stream. So you special. Hold on, let's get it, because I'm gonna get back on the groove of things.
Yeah, we go.
What's up, fam? How y'all doing? What's going on, JP? Thanks for having me, man.
Right,
I'm excited.
We good. Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very happy that you even took the time to join the Content Creators University. You are going to be our professor today.
All
is a
right.
university.
Let's do it.
Yes, ma'am. We have a lot
Let's
to
do
learn
it.
from you.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have quite a few things to talk about with this journey. Content
Hmm.
creation, you know, has become a label now, right? With
Yeah.
what happened to the universe, I should say, right? Everybody
Yeah.
went through COVID and everything's going on. Our way of living has changed now. So now we're all talking about how to up our game as a
Yeah.
producer, or, you know, you have everybody, you know, churches, ministries, businesses, understanding the
Yeah.
power of live. And I know you're in that niche. And not only you're in there, you also have a
Yeah.
daytime job. So,
Yep.
we want to learn, you know, how we should manage that. But before we get into that, first question
Yeah.
for you. For those that do not know you, who's India?
Yeah.
How
Oh
can we
man.
know who she is?
All right, let me get
Introduce
hold
yourself.
on. Let me get back in the groove of things. Hold on. So first off, y'all already know India Delgado, the only India Delgado that you can find on YouTube. I am a mortgage loan originator by day. So I specialize on first-time homebuyer mortgages. I teach financial literacy. So I am a public speaker, I'm a teacher, I'm a banker, community investment advocate, community reinvestment advocate, but a content creator by night. Still working on creating, really good content and building my channel and things like that. And then just being a teacher and helping out the community, whether it's financial literacy or content creation. For me, it's all about giving back, right? It's all about making connections with somebody like yourself and all of the amazing guests that you have coming on, taking all of my knowledge and just trying to simplify the process. So I do that during the day with mortgages and trying to get people not to be so scared. And me and you are going to talk about like our mortgage process and home buying process, right? Got a lot to
Yes,
talk about
ma'am.
with that. And then the same thing with technology, right? Whether it's something that seems complicated like NDI or green screen, although we don't got green screen no more. So we're going to talk about that. You see an actual background, something we going to build. Charles, if you still watching, watch out because I'm coming for you, brother. I'm coming for
She
you.
coming for you, man. She
But
coming for
that's
you.
it, man. That's
Appreciate it.
me. I'm just trying to be me.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, that's we want to
That's
ask
it.
for less. You know, that's
Yeah,
what we're looking for. Thanks for the introduction. We appreciate that.
of
Well,
course.
right off the bat, I have a question for you, India.
Uh-oh.
Is
Oh, you
it is
coming.
it
You coming with the
saturated?
heat. Hold on. You coming with, I don't even have, Melissa, in my studio, I'm not really set up. I don't even have like a,
She doesn't have her goodies yet, right? Oh,
I
there
do,
we
but I'm like,
go.
I'm all over the place. All right, what's up? What do we got here?
No, the first question is, is it saturated? Because a lot of people are trying to jump in and have that, you know, skeptical approach to it, right? They're
Yeah.
wondering, should I jump into it? I have a lot to share. I have a lot to say, but is the game saturated, or is it okay for me to start a journey now? Is it too late? Or is it good? Do we still have a place in this industry or this platform or this niche? What do you think say about that?
So I think, and not just with content creation, I think with anything, if you feel like you have something to share, or if you have something to sell, whatever it is you want a business to start with, whatever it is, if you have something to give, don't worry about how the market is may or may not be saturated. Don't worry about who's doing it, who's a millionaire, who's out there hustling. My biggest opinion and my biggest thought process when it comes to that is people buy from people they like. So we may have the same exact product, right? And people listen to what, that people they like. So whether it is from listening to a YouTube channel, whether it's doing mortgages, whether it's buying cars, whatever that is, right? There's different things that a person may relate to me. Me and you, JP, can say the same exact thing, word for word for word. First of all, you know how it is. And it's a sad reality. People judge you first based off of appearance, maybe good, bad, whatever it is. But that's the first thing. That's human nature. So just because realistically, because you are a man and I'm a woman, there are going to be people that may just naturally go to you because they may feel that you're an expert, or there may be people that may come to me naturally because they may feel more comfortable with me or they can take advantage of me, whatever the reason is, right?
Right.
So people buy from people that look like them, that they feel comfortable with. And then the second piece of it, from outside of that external judgment, it's about how you deliver your message. Again, we're all content creators. So if we talk about it from a content creation perspective, how I deliver my message is totally different than how you may deliver your message from content creation, right? And that may resonate. How there may be people that say, you know what, I like how India taught this class. And somebody may say, I like how JP taught this class, right? So it's
Right.
all about, if you have to have it in you first. So if you truly have it in you and you know that you're going to go out there and you're going to give your all, 1000% do it, because that it's going to start with one person who may follow you, and then that one person is going to tell somebody else, because it's also about trusted referrals and trusted resources, right?
Right.
So the
Right.
same way you found me through one of the streams, because I was streaming in 1,000 groups, so whichever group I was streaming in, right, you found me, you jumped on my live and you was like, listen, I like the way India does her live streams, and then we started politicking from there. It was one person told another person told another person, and that's how I've been growing my community. So long-winded answer, not just dedicated for content creation, but 1000%. If you have a passion, if you know you got something to give, something to sell, if you believe in it, you got to believe in it. That's my only thing where I would tell
Yeah.
people not to do it. If you're going to half-ass it, if you're not going to give your all, or if you're trying to do it to make a quick buck and there's not real passion behind it, then don't do it. But if there's
Right.
real passion and you know that there's a purpose, make it happen. Do it. Why haven't you
Right.
done it
I
already?
appreciate
That's what
that.
I'm really saying. Why haven't you done it already?
Yeah, I mean that's true because and you put it so well, right? It's not just about content creation. It's just about any
Right.
industry you're
Anything.
trying to start in. Any,
Yeah.
you can look at it and say saturated, or you can look at it and say I have something to say, right? I have a
Right.
place, I have a voice. Where we talked about
Right.
yesterday with Charles, where when you have a voice, you have a listening to it, right? So
Yeah.
if you have something to say, speak, and somebody will listen to it. But the deal is that you can't. Other people can believe in your product more than you.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if that's the case, then it's time to change, right? Like it's the same thing even with me. Like as a mortgage person, if I don't believe in my bank, the product that we sell, then it's either maybe I shouldn't be a mortgage officer or maybe I should change banks. One of the two, right? So it's either figure out what it is. Is it that it needs to be adjusted? So if we're talking about content creation, if you're not believing in it, find out why you're not believing in it. Is it
Right.
because, so for instance, if you look back on my channel, I started YouTube 10, 12 years ago, and it was with car stuff. And I'm still passionate about car stuff. I love my car, right? But to talk about it and to create content on it, that's not my passion. My passion is more technology and things like that. So it's about stopping and reassessing where you're at and figuring out where that passion is and saying, okay, is it a different alley? Is it a different, do I deliver it differently? Right. But figuring out what that is and then going from there.
Right. I mean, because talking about content creation, the niche you can be very tied down to a niche, or you can be
Right.
very broad.
Yeah.
But the thing is that don't be all over the place, right?
Right.
And you put it so well, or you can have a passion about something today, and it just you'll be done
Change.
with it in 2 years.
Yeah.
And so the thing is not to be afraid to walk, right? Like
Absolutely.
if you're done with it, okay, move on to whatever
Right.
you have going on. And the secret there will be how to. And let me ask you that: how to, whenever you have a different interest, how to
Yeah.
transition your followers or your listeners from one interest to another. And because there's also the fear of, oh, if I do that, I'm going to
I'm gonna
lose
lose. Right.
everything I've already built.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I
how
mean, so
to manage
don't,
that?
what is it like? Don't do as I say, because I still have all my car videos up. Like my car videos, like if you look at them, they have like 50, one of them has like 80,000 views. Another one has 60,000 views. And they're more like, and it's stupid stuff from like early 2000s, how to reset your airbag and how to change the light bulbs on a 20,000 Nissan Rogue. Like, first of all, I couldn't even believe I had a Nissan Rogue back in the day. I thought I was popping, right? Who said that? Like,
You
no,
killed me on
right?
that.
But But so I didn't transition, right? I had that, and that's because I really wasn't doing YouTube like the way I'm trying to do YouTube now.
Hmm.
And I have my followers from there, people who, appreciated me showing how to do all that car stuff. I didn't transition in any kind of way. I kept those videos up because they are tutorials, and I still get comments to this day where people still have a 2000 Rogue, right? Or people still have
Hmm.
whatever it is, Nissans, and to reset the airbag, it's still the same in whatever, time frame
Right.
from 2000 to
Right.
2005. So I still get people that comment on it. And it's like, listen, if it's helping someone, fine. That's
Hmm.
one. So figuring out again the purpose, and is there a purpose? Are you giving back? That I give back to the community a few times a week. So I'm cool with leaving it up. I did it on a separate playlist. I moved it to the bottom, right? My advice would be, if I was actively doing car stuff and then did a full-blown transition,
Hmm.
then I probably would say make an announcement video, right? Talk to your followers, put it in your description, have a conversation, do a live stream and say, look, this is not my passion anymore. One of the content creators, she's been a few times, a guest a few times, she used to have two different channels, and she had the same exact thing where she said, you know what, I just want to focus on Notion, Cat Mulvihill. I just want to focus on Notion. I want to focus on Zoom. I want
Hmm.
to not do this other stuff. And it was just, she just made an announcement and told the followers, look, this is where I'm at. Feel free to follow along on this new journey. This is my passion. This is what I'm going to do. And if you don't follow along, no hard feelings, right? So being
Right.
honest and upfront. And then the other piece of it is, if you do lose followers, it's twofold. If you lose followers, you got to be okay, because you got to respect someone that, if like me, if they were following me for car stuff because they're legit car people, but they're not
Hmm.
content creators, respect it. Don't get mad at it. Don't be in your feelings. And for every person that you may lose, if again you have a passion and you're putting out good quality content, you're gonna gain those borrowers. I'm talking about money in my head, mortgages. You're
Followers.
gonna gain, yeah, you're gonna gain those followers back, right? And then those are gonna
Right.
be people that's gonna be engaged in your new content. So being
Right.
okay with the fluctuations, because that's with any business. Again, as a business owner,
Hmm.
as whatever it is you're putting out there, you're going to have fluctuations. You're going to have peaks and valleys. And you need to know that and be confident in yourself enough to be cool with those peaks and valleys.
And that's the thing, right? That's the thing about understanding exactly what you're getting yourself into,
Yeah.
because you want to do the homework. And we're about to talk about gear in a little
Yeah.
bit later in this show, but it is important that we talk about, the preliminaries into, content creation and understanding what you're getting yourself into, because
Yep.
do your homework. You cannot get into any type of business. You can have a desire to try something,
Yeah.
but the thing is, do you have what it takes to be consistently in there, whether you have tornado or you have the
Right.
sun up and it's nice,
Right.
right? Are you
Right.
going to stick around? Because that's what's going to either make or break you.
Right.
And that's the reality, regardless of whether it's content creation or not.
Right.
Any industry, what's your commitment to it, right?
Yeah.
Understanding, okay, what's going to take you to get to, because everybody got a vision, right? Yesterday we were talking about a man without a vision is a dead man walking, right? You need to have a
Mm-hmm.
vision, right? Like, I want to
Mm-hmm.
get here, right? You
Right.
want to buy that new
Right.
house, or you want to travel and go here. You want to start
Right.
making, I don't know, 150K a year in 2 years.
Right.
Okay, but do you understand that it's going to take you maybe more work than the average person, maybe
Put in
because of
work.
when you
Work.
started, right? Or when you got in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Like, you can start a business 2 years ago will be easier to get more traction than when you started it today. But that doesn't
Right.
mean that it may or may not be too late. It just
Right.
means that you may put a little more work to that in order
Yep.
to, get that sunshine to it, right?
That's it.
And that's the reality. So now,
Yep.
a lot of people, when we're talking about, content creation specifically, now we are getting into a lot of conversations in regards revolving around live streaming, right?
Yeah.
Live
Yeah. Yeah.
streaming like a pro, and you have so many solutions out there. You specifically, you chose Ecamm. Well,
Right. I
we
love
want to
Ecamm.
know why Ecamm?
I love Ecamm. Ecamm.
Why Ecamm?
I love Ecamm. Let me say that again. Let
Why
me
not
lead in. Let me do the
OBS, right?
Delgado
Why?
lean in. Listen, it's been a minute. Listen, JP, I'm having all sorts of withdrawals because it's been a minute. So I got to do my Delgado lean in and be like, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? What's popping? Why Ecamm? Let me see. So I'm an iOS Mac person all the way. So of course, naturally, that's the native solution. I did start
Mm-hmm.
off like everybody else. I started off with OBS. So here's a quick rundown. I do financial literacy seminars that I used to do them in person, right? So I would teach at a library, I would teach at a nonprofit. One of my homies is here. She's an
Mm-hmm.
executive director, but I would teach at a nonprofit agency. I would teach in the banks, the classes. The pandemic happened, all of that stuff shut down. But as a bank, we still had financial responsibility, financial obligations to still do community reinvestment. We still had to do those financial literacy seminars.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, how do we adjust? And I'm a big person and I blame this on my father. My dad was not superficial, but my dad taught me very young on the first thing people are going to judge you when they see you. It's all about your
Mm-hmm.
presentation. Like, listen, I'm crazy. And my friends laugh at me because I iron my t-shirts. I iron my jeans. Like I do. Right. Like I'm like, whatever, but that's my father thing. And again, it's not about being superficial, but it's about the way my dad put it is if you're put together, people are going to look at you and they're going to immediately pay attention to you. Right. So the same thing in a
Right.
presentation, whether it's like you look at your stream, like your stream is legit, it's put together, right? When I do a
Right.
presentation, whether it was in person, it was put together. You get there early. I had flyers, I had a whole projector screen, right? And so then as I started now transitioning over into Zoom, I was like, I can't do a presentation like this. I'm used to my PowerPoint, I'm used to all these fancy
Right.
tools. So that led me into doing research. I found OBS where you can bring a PowerPoint, you can bring a PDF, you can do cameras and stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. I can do this. Hold on. Oh no, we lost power. We lost power.
Oh
Hold on.
no way. Oh wow. Hey folks, that is what happens live. Looks like she lost power while she was talking. So she's checking real quick. She's about to go ahead and check and see what exactly is going on and get back to us here. So hang on, hang tight. So while she's doing that, let me go ahead and show you a little more about her, the things that she got going on. So right here, we're taking a look at her page, as a matter of fact. Let me go ahead and show you guys this real quick. And she's coming back. Take your time, India. We got you. No problem whatsoever. You're good. So let me go ahead and put this on me. And all right, so let's go. So I want to show you guys her setup when it comes to online connection and everything. So we are taking a look at her pages here, and this is her YouTube channel. For those of you who do not know, go ahead and follow her on her YouTube channel. Subscribe to that channel because, I mean, hey, you got to, right? You got to support it. And also, she got a lot of other things going on, folks. She got her own platform called Let's Get Live, and obviously whenever you try to show it, that's when the page is going to try to load. But anyhow, here we go. This is Let's Get Live. This is a private group, by the way, folks. This is private, so in order for you to get on here, you need to apply or be invited. This is Let's Get Live VIP. She doesn't always talk about it. I'm watching a different video that told her, hey, you got to talk about Let's Get Live. But folks, if you want to connect more and learn more things, these are the type of places that you want to be. And if you want to connect with her directly, of course, you can go to her Facebook right there, and connect with her. If you want to invite her to speak over at an event or anything like that, go ahead and connect with her, because that's all it's about, folks. It's about us connecting as creators and business owners, and firepreneurs, like I said, right? Entrepreneurs on fire. So that's what it is. And while
Can you
we're
hear
doing
me?
that at the same
Am
time,
I
yeah, I
back?
can hear you.
All right. So
You are
whenever you're
back,
ready.
ma'am. I can hear you.
Whenever you're ready. All
Welcome back.
right. Let me raise the
Yes, ma'am.
volume up. Listen.
I hear you.
See,
While
this
you're
is
doing
what
that, let's go ahead
happens.
and give
Good.
shout out to
Yeah.
folks that are in the comment section, right? I got Charles Jackson. Charles Jackson, hey, how you doing? He says, sub. Yeah, you better sub to her.
Yeah.
And thanks
Yeah.
for being here, folks. Charles Jackson is an amazing producer as well. He was in the yesterday's episode. Go check it out. And I got Padil.
That's
She
my
said three.
homegirl, Jessica. What's up, Jess?
Jessica. I didn't
There
want
you
to
go.
butcher the name.
All
How's it
good.
going? Thanks for joining the live stream today. And also have Mr. Camera Junkie. Hey, how's it
Lewis.
going, folks? How's it going? Thanks for joining the stream. Hey, folks, if you just joined in, I want to encourage you to go ahead and put in the comment section below if you're watching this video live or as a recorded format, the replay. Go ahead and put your comment in the comment section below or react. Smack the like button if you like this type of videos. Share it and subscribe to the channel for more because we have a lot of more things happening. And what just happened? Our guest lost power. And these are the type of things that happen live. And whenever those type of things happen, you need to know how to manage it and how to handle it, right? India, and this is reality, right? Coming straight to us. And I appreciate the
Listen.
way this took place.
All
And
right. So it wasn't
nobody
it wasn't
knew.
full power. Right. And so let's just tell them what it's really been. And I see
Right.
Charles, he's already like he was like, what's happening? Because everybody knows me for my green screen and we don't got a green screen. So I bought a house. This is why I have been MIA because I was under contract. I made an offer in March 15th to be exact, but who's counting? 45 days, and then April came and went and it was down to the wire. um so I was super stressed out, and I was living in between my brother's house down in Pittsburgh, my best friend's house down in Connecticut, which they are 7 hours apart from one another, and the house I bought is in Philly, which is 3.5 hours away from my best friend and 4.5 hours away from my brother. So I have
Wow.
been crazy. And so, first off, I don't have all of my gear. I have my thank you, Charles. So you see, I'm coming for you. But yeah, um, but I don't have all of my gear. The reason why I have some of my gear is one, because I've been traveling and I had remote produced a show for Bergen County for like first time homebuyer stuff. So I have like all my cameras. And I did bring my Rodecaster. Now, check this out. I brought my Rodecaster Pro. This was why, because I actually use this is not my favorite mic. This is my favorite mic. This bad boy here, my
Oh, look
Lewitt.
at that.
However, I need to get that replaced because it's staticky. So I haven't gotten it replaced. This is a backup mic. And the reason, and I was going to return this, and the reason why, and now even more so, I'm glad I didn't return it. The reason why I didn't return it is because it's XLR and it's a USB.
It's
And
USB
I
at the
knew
same
that I was
time.
going to start, right. I knew I was going to start traveling and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? Let me keep it, because when I start traveling and I don't want to carry with an interface, then all I need is my MacBook Pro, have a cable, and I'm good to go. So,
Right.
okay, so that's what happened, because when I packed up my Rodecaster Pro last month, I forgot the power cable. Now, Rode
Oh.
sells a USB adapter for the Rodecaster Pro, and it connects with a battery bank. So we started off, and I had the Rodecaster Pro connected to the battery bank, but the battery bank lost power. And so that's what
Oh
happened as I was
man.
talking. But thinking quick, I
Okay.
plugged in the MV7 directly to my MacBook, opened up the Shure software, and now we're good to go. But
And
that's
I
where we're
like
at.
what
That's why. Go ahead, JP. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that I like what Charles Jackson just said. Say your feed is crystal clear. I was just gonna tell
Yo,
you that. And down have any lag? There's no any lag to it. You have
nah,
fiber optic internet.
nah.
Yep. She has
Yes.
FiOS. Yes, sir. She said it earlier. And that's what I like. And folks, as producers, these are lessons we need to learn, right? Like
Yeah.
you have a microphone that does both, that does
Yeah,
USB
man.
and
Yep.
XLR. And with that
Yeah.
microphone, you're able to travel, like literally put down your
Right.
backpack with your laptop,
Yep.
and you have internet anywhere you go, and then you connect. You have
Yep.
crystal clear audio
Yeah.
anywhere you're good to go. See, those are the type of things that we need to understand and learn because you may not always be in your studio or have the
Right.
perfect set, right? So that
Yep.
is a perfect backup microphone. That can even be your primary microphone because if you have that in your studio, you can just unplug it, take the USB, leave the XLR
That's it.
connectors
Yep.
behind, and you add the door.
Yep.
You add the door, you
Legit.
should be good to go.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
So
like that.
that's where we're at. And it's so funny because me and RK3, we did a video on loopback, and we were actually
Hmm.
talking this morning, and we're gonna do some follow-up videos. So stay tuned, y'all. But we are gonna do some follow-up videos. And one of the follow-up videos that we're gonna do is a more detailed video. And we're gonna go in depth with audio hijack for those people that use like a USB mic like this and don't
Hmm.
want an interface, because now what you will hear is I had the Rodecaster Pro connected previously, so I had the noise gate turned on. And now that turned off, so you can hear some of the
A
background
little
noise
bit.
because it's just
Right.
right. It's different. But then so and I spoke about this, and it's about tools, right? So I have
Hmm.
loopback. I don't need loopback, but I bought loopback because as a producer and as a content creator, I said it's going to be those times where I don't want to carry my Rodecaster, or the Rodecaster dies and I still need to be able to route audio. The
All
same
right.
thing
So
now. My next
for
Go ahead.
hold on, the folks that
Go ahead.
don't
Go
know
ahead. Go
what
ahead.
loopback is,
Go
can
ahead.
you
Go
tell
ahead. Go
me?
ahead. Yep.
Because I mean, those
So
are technical jargon. They'll be
I
like,
just
"What
went
is she
into it right.
talking
I just
about?"
why I just got super nerdy. Loopback is basically it creates simplified process. Loopback creates virtual microphones for you, so you can use in apps like, let's say, Zoom. So
Hmm.
sometimes Zoom will only take your computer microphone, or if you have plugged in an actual microphone like a USB mic, and that's what it'll send the feed. But let's say you have a video you want to play. Sometimes it becomes more difficult, or if you want to bring in a guest or like a phone or something like that, like a separate device,
Hmm.
you can loop back, you can choose different applications from your computer and turn all of those apps into virtual microphones and either play them individually or combine them into one and then send that out. So the biggest thing for us as content creators is like we're using Ecamm, and that's what we were talking about before my Roadcaster died. We're using Ecamm. I'm coming into you as a guest. If we do this interview the same way, but we want to bring this setup into
Hmm.
Zoom, I, as your guest, am not going to be able to hear Zoom. And then Zoom
Hmm.
won't may or may not be able to hear me. So to create that two-way feedback, so that as
Hmm.
your guest, if I don't dial in on your Zoom call, you use loopback, and loopback just does, if you think about the name, it loops back your audio in a circle. You just have to tell it what to do. So I hope that
Okay.
simplified it for those of you guys
Okay,
that, you
yeah.
know.
And for folks that are curious, this is
There
what
you go.
loopback looks
That's
like.
the video. There you
Um,
go. You
yeah,
was ready.
so I was pulling it behind the scenes real quick while you're talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it allows you to loop any audio from any software pretty much to like you loop, you take it from one to another, to create a connection between two different softwares, if I'm understanding correctly. And then that
Yep.
allows you to pull it up. So for example, she was just talking about Zoom. In this image, you see, iTunes and your microphone. So you want to take your microphone, for example, and send it to iTunes and have the audio, the sound there. Then Loopback allows you to do that. So it's just a simple software that you can purchase, and then you install it onto your computer. Now, is it only on Mac or can you get it on Windows?
Yeah. So Loopback itself is a Mac only software, but then there's other alternatives. I think it's called, there's like Wallflower or
Yeah.
something like that. That is the same thing for Windows and Mac. So they have, and it works the same exact way. But, I be trying to get people to the dark side and get Macs because Mac is life. Mac is
Yeah, you gotta be
life.
careful. But the good thing is that you can get a discount if you're with the E family of
Ecamm.
folks.
Yep.
So yeah, Ecam
Yeah,
family,
you
so
can
you
get
can
a
get a
$30
discount on that.
discount if you're an Ecamm user. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm looking behind you. What
Yeah.
do we
We got
have there?
we
And,
got
and
an
folks,
empty
that's
wall.
one
You
thing we
got
want to take a
nothing.
look at, right?
Let's see.
Where are you? We
Let me
want to take
turn
a
on
look.
NDI. Let's see what we got here. Let me give y'all a tour real quick,
Yes, ma'am.
because you are seeing an empty wall. You are not seeing a green screen, not the way it used to be back on my previous streams. No more green screen. I mean, if there may be some times I may need it, but probably not. I'm gonna build out a nice, cool studio. That's just a placeholder for now. I got some floodlights that I'm gonna do some RGB floodlights. Let's see.
Right.
Let's get this up and running so
Yeah,
I can
because I
give
was
y'all a
gonna tell you
tour.
that I'm looking at a nice shallow depth of field, even though you're there. So I know first question will be coming as, what
Come
camera
on.
is she using?
Come
What camera do you
on.
got?
Let's see. I have three cameras. I'm gonna show y'all that too. So let's see. Let's do this.
All
So
right.
that is what's up, y'all. That
Look at
is, of
that.
course, my trusty A6400 with a
Nice.
Sigma 16 millimeter lens. That is a backup ring light. I do not use ring lights, and if you look in my eyes, you can see the glare. So, but that's just a backup.
Hmm.
Let's see. So I'm gonna talk louder. You're gonna hear some echoes. I'm gonna walk away. I'm not gonna be able to hear you, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna give
that's
you a
fine.
tour. Let's do this real quick. I'm gonna swivel in the chair.
All right.
So there's my second camera. That's an A5100. So I got to figure out how I'm going to mount it. That's my ZV1 because I'm going to do a time lapse I already started recording of my transformation.
Okay.
And then we got some floodlights there. So those two floodlights, I'm going to get some RGB floodlights to bring some color down.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna tell y'all all the tricks because I'm gonna try to stunt on y'all because I got some competition. So I'm gonna try to stunt. But I am gonna do something on the wall there. That's just to get, I didn't want to have a plain wall. That
Right.
is an Ethernet cable hanging from the ceiling.
Coming
That's how
straight down.
I'm getting 900 up, 900 down, but that is an Ethernet cable that I gotta fix. And then let me see, let me back away real quick. So I'm not gonna be able to hear you, but let's see.
All right. Look at that, folks. So she got like a U-shaped desk set up right there, and see all that temporary setup for her, and that's the Ethernet cable for coming from upstairs, and she's showing upstairs right there. Nice stuff that we're taking a look at now, and I like the way she have the setup because you have
All
what
right, I'm
size
back.
monitor is that?
That is a 27 inch. That's a Dell. This is my 4K monitors are, let me grab my chair real quick. Give me a second.
All right,
Let me not kill myself. I don't want to
there
kill
we
myself in
go.
the process. And let me just switch the camera back. Hold
All right,
on.
nice.
All right,
There
I'm
we go.
back.
We're back.
Let's fix this. And let me switch to you again. All right, there we are. Um, so that's a 27 inch. So I have three 27 inches. This one is a 1080. This was one of my very first monitors. So a lot of
Okay.
my stuff is still in my brother's house, right? So right now I'm streaming from my MacBook Pro. It's a spec'd out 16-inch MacBook Pro. I have my 1080 27-inch monitor, my keyboard. I did bring all my cameras, so I do have my cameras and all my lenses. But I got 4K monitors. I do have an M1 16 gig Mac Mini at home that I can't wait to bring back. I'm using
Nice.
my IKEA tabletops. So I bought,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I was telling you when we were doing the countdown, that I went to IKEA yesterday. I bought a $20 tabletop so I can make a little L shape to give myself some more space. But I do
Right.
have a butcher block, a 6 foot butcher block at home because for all my stuff, I need sturdy, right? Like a
Yeah, you
sturdy
need a
desk.
solid table. Right, you need a solid table for
Um,
that. Well,
but yeah,
nice,
that's it, man. Yeah.
nice,
So
nice. Now, how are you treating the audio? Because you don't have a, I cannot really hear any echo when you're
really, I
speaking.
hear it. It's driving me crazy. And maybe because like
There's a slight echo, but
yeah.
it's not bad at all. So you didn't do anything for the audio treatment in the room at all.
No, the room is still super empty. The only thing I can say is that the monitor, my sound is probably bouncing off of the monitor, so it's not creating too much, right? And I put the table against the wall. The monitor is directly in front of me, and
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing, because we talk about that a lot, and a lot of people tell me like how great I always sound. The
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it's all about like your mic technique as well, right? And I tell
Right.
people even with that, because a lot of people don't like getting the mic in the
The
shot.
mic in the
And
shot. Right.
right, like listen, if you want to sound good, you better come up on this mic. You better make love to this mic, because if you want to sound sexy and sultry and all of that good stuff, you
Hey.
better have good mic technique. But I think that's a big difference as well, because I'm sure if I were to come out now, you're
Yeah.
going to hear the echo, right?
Right.
Because it's not,
Yeah.
I'm not using, right? So if I, or this realistically, people have it like this. They don't want to have their mic in the shot, so then
They're
they're
like,
talking, but now you can hear the echo, right? So to
yeah. Now I
eliminate
can
a
hear the
lot of that
echo.
echo, now
Right.
you can hear it. That's what the house really sounds like because it's empty. But then, and this
Okay.
is a dynamic mic, right? So if you come in and you're not afraid of having the mic in the phone, in the phone,
You're
you know,
not
in the
afraid of
shot.
eating the mic, right? That's what they
You're not
say.
right. You're not afraid of it. It's true though. You got to eat the mic. You have good mic
Yeah.
technique, and then you can get really good sound, and it eliminates a lot of that echo because the mic is doing what it's supposed to do. If you're listening, it's the same thing. If you watch singers, they're in concerts. For the most part, they have the mic in their mouths like this, right? Like that's what
Yep,
it is.
that's
They
true.
have the mics, and the only time that a singer will take the mic away from their mouth is when they're going to hit a high note so that it doesn't hit, right? It
Right.
doesn't
It
red.
doesn't saturate,
Exactly.
lower people's
Exactly.
eardrums.
Right. Right. So that you're not hot. But other than that, the mic is literally on their mouth. So it's the same thing when you're on a show, and I know Doc and Diana, we talk about this all the time, and it's a big debate where people like, well, I don't want the mic in the shot. Well, if you want to have sound really good, kiss that mic
Yeah, I mean that's
anyway.
true. The closer you are to a microphone, the better the microphone sounds. And I can tell you that if I get closer to mine, as you
Right.
can see, look at
There you
that.
go. Look at that. That makes a big difference, bro.
Like pretty much I have a shotgun microphone, and that's true. I mean, that's just an example to show you the closer you are,
Right.
the better it
You
sounds.
sound exactly legit.
But no, we're
For
laughing
real.
about it, but it's true. Those are things that not everybody understands, and it is important to know that. So
Yeah.
whenever you're deciding, because and here's the deal, you were just talking about previously having a green screen and now not having a
Yeah.
green screen. So you're pre-planning your setup. So the
Yeah.
question is, Charles told
Yeah.
us yesterday that everything he did, he had. Charles said he had a long list of Amazon, things in his
Legit.
Amazon card that it was
Yeah.
waiting to
Yeah. Yeah.
purchase. So
Yeah.
is it the best approach to like draw, if you can even draw everything down, to the T, or just an idea of what you want it to look like and start purchasing, or just go ahead, throw yourself into it and start adding? What is your intake on that?
So, okay, so I think it definitely is going to apply, right, to like you. I'm not, so I say that I'm not a creative. Now doing content creation, I do see that I'm a creator, but it's in a totally different, like I'm not an artist. I'm not, anything like that. So drawing is
Right.
not for me. However, one of the things that I've been doing for a minute, because I always knew I was going to have my own personal studio, right? I went on Pinterest and I have my own studios board on Pinterest or modern offices. And then the same thing on Instagram. I follow like gamer accounts because that's what they're under. And so I get my inspiration from there. So you definitely want to have some sort of inspiration. You want to have stuff planned out 100%, whatever that looks like for you. So it might be drawing something out. It might be having pins, pinned boards or stuff like that, taking screenshots, but definitely having some sort of idea of what do you like? How does that fit your personality? Because again, it needs to be important, right? So the big thing was I have that frame and I wanted to I've had that frame for probably 10 years. And you can't really tell really what it is because of the depth of field, but that's the Brooklyn Bridge. I have the
Right.
Brooklyn Bridge tattooed on me,
Nice.
right? I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. And how do I start? Every time I start my show and I end my show, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm
Yep.
a New Yorican. Everybody knows that, right? So, when I was thinking about, all right, what can I put, really quick as I start to do shows again, I was like, listen, my New Year, I was actually going to have that upstairs on my brick wall, but I
It
said, you know
looks
what?
really
Nah.
dope behind you right there. I really like
Yeah,
it. I
I
mean,
like that,
and it's
right? Like, and I thought
big.
about it, and then I said, you know what? This is a reflection of me. It's perfect. It's New York. So I
It's
thought,
nice.
but when you plan your office or your studio or whatever it is, you want to also make sure that what is it going to say about you and your personality, because that's what's going to make it more comfortable for you. You're going to be in this space 99% of the time. So you want to make it comfortable for you first before you start stunting on everybody else.
Right, because it is your and that's also a very important thing.
Yeah,
Your studio is a reflection of your
you.
personality, right? Your
Absolutely. Yeah.
studio, even like it tells a story without you saying anything. Like,
Right. Yeah.
and that's the question: what will people say about you by just
Right.
taking a picture of your studio?
Right. Right. How do they get to know you and stuff like that? So
You
absolutely
know,
100%.
what about
Um,
colors? Like, what are your favorite colors, India?
so my favorite color is red. Um,
Oh yeah, welcome to my
my
team.
favorite color. Yes, let me see. Hold on. Let me see. I got these
Red,
all these
blue.
red cables, right? I
Look at
got
that.
red USB cable connections. I have like my little like stickers, like anything
There
red,
you go.
I'll get. My
Well, that means,
case
folks, we
is
might see
red.
some red stuff. We
You're
will
gonna
see
see
some red
red.
stuff
Absolutely. You'll
in the
absolutely
RGB
see some red.
colors.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
definitely. Yeah. So but that but I also think that it depends on your audience, like, and again, so it's a mix of things, because so we spoke about it, right? Like, I'm a banker by day and I do presentations, so I can't have something always specked out like with the way I do my content creation when I do my first time home buyer presentations, right? So it's not going to be
Hmm.
all the color changing during the day, but it'll be maybe something where it's, so if I get RGBs, like, let's say, and I don't even think I would do that. I was going to say the colors of my company, but I still wouldn't even do that. I'd probably just keep it neutral, a white
Right.
behind me, right? Because it's like I'm
Hmm.
teaching people, I'm doing a seminar. Like, I don't want to have all of that
You
stuff.
don't have all that.
But
Yep,
then at
that's true.
night, when it's me and I'm creating content. So understanding that. And I think that that's in your profession as well. A content creator, not a content creator. Also knowing who you're going to be speaking to and how you deliver that message, because of course you want people to get to know you, but you can't be, I guess, ignorant to your audience neither, right? Like, you can't, you gotta, it's and so you gotta be genuine, but finding that flow and understanding who you're talking to, because yeah, you want people to like you for you, but it's also you're asking them to follow you. And if you're not taking a minute to get to know who your audience is and what they like and how they want a message delivered, don't change who you are, but also don't just be obnoxious, right?
Hmm.
Because it's, if you cater your message to who your audience is, you're going to get more people that way. And then it just makes you
Yep,
more universal, right? It makes you more
absolutely.
flexible and you're putting more tools on your tool belt, and it just helps you grow as an individual professionally as well.
And that is, having a multi usage platform.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
studio could be used for multiple things because a lot of people are working from home, or
Right.
have a lot of things that they're doing from their studio. So
Yeah.
whenever you're creating or setting up your studio, think about that. And lighting is something that is easy to manipulate, right?
Yeah.
When you have RGB light, you need to have some settings. I'm a software developer and branding expert. So whenever I am having my corporate America type of meetings and all that, I don't have all these colors turned on, folks. I,
Right.
I don't do
Legit.
that.
Right.
You can't do that, folks.
No.
You they're gonna ask you, yo, what is going
What's
on here?
happening? Why is all of that stuff? Are you okay? What's
Right.
happening
I
here?
mean, you don't do
It's true.
RGBs and stuff like that. So that's why that's why it's good to understand, what you're trying to do and also understand your audience.
Right.
It's just about, for example, when you go to apply to a job, right?
Yeah.
You look at your attire. How am I going to present myself? I'm not
Right.
going to go apply for a job as a director of a bank having a do-rag on my head and all that. Even though
Right.
it doesn't take away your resume, they're still going to be like, if you're coming here applying for the job in a do-rag and
Right. Right.
everything
What are you
else,
doing?
well, we
Right.
have some
Like,
concerns here,
I'm
right?
good.
So,
I'm
and,
good.
and that's the
Next.
public,
Right.
right? Yeah, so that's the public, and you are the person presenting. So presentation is a very important thing that we need to understand. Now, let's talk about one thing that, oh boy, every
What's that?
producer, every content creator
Uh-oh.
deals with, right?
What's that? Uh-oh.
Burnout.
Oh man.
Burnout, and you
Man,
have a
listen.
lot going on. Like you
Yes.
just explained, right? 7 hours away, driving from one
Yeah.
place to another. All right, taking
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
literally took a month off. Other
Yeah.
people will be like, how can you just take a month off? Why would you do
Yeah.
that? Well, how can we protect ourselves from burnout
Yeah.
as
I
creators?
think so one, finding your balance, right? So like some people will continue to produce no matter what. And for me, this is not my full-time job, right? So
Hmm.
this is stuff that I know I can do a better job at making time for it. but I also knew what my reality was at the time. I was living at my brother's place because my priority was one, buying a house. So I needed to
Mm-hmm.
save money, and my brother was letting me stay there. So I was able to buy a house in under 4 months. Realistically, that's how long it took me. I moved in with my brother on January 1st and I closed
Wow.
on April 30th. So in under 4 months, right? So that was my priority. And so, how did I make that a priority? It wasn't creating content because right now, since I'm not monetized, and even if I was monetized, this is not a full time, I'm not making six figures, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so my full-time job as a loan officer, I was trying to grind and do that. And then I was doing things for my personal business on a remote production business to bring in income that way. So it was creating content. It just wasn't creating content of either doing live streams or, uploading videos. And then, like I had to go and look for houses. And then that's the thing.
Right.
Like I said, if I'm staying with my brother, going to see my realtor, it was a 4 hour drive to go see her. Like when I went to see my realtor, we saw 13 houses. We saw seven houses on the first day, five houses on the second day, right? Like, and I had to rent a hotel because for me, if it's going to take 4.5 hours, I need to
Yeah, I
make it
mean,
worthwhile, right? So
mm-hmm.
what does that mean? That means I'm not home. And that means that the farthest thing from my mind was creating content because buying a house to have my own studio, that's the
Mm-hmm.
end game. That's the long term goal, right? So prioritizing and finding out what's what with your long term goals. What do you want to do? How do you do it? And I did try because I was at my best friend's house. And at my best friend's house, I brought my gear. So it wasn't about trying to make excuses because when I
Mm-hmm.
was at her house in Connecticut, I still streamed ladies' nights on Saturdays when I could. So it was like, all right, I don't got. But then when it became a crunch hour, crunch time in April, that I had less than 30 days to close, and I
Right.
had to plan go into my storage. I had to plan what does this look like? How do I like once I close, what do I need to be ready for? I said, all right, I can't. I need to absolutely take a break from creating content because not just about creating content and making time for it, my mental space wasn't there, right? So I
There
didn't
we
have
go.
mental space. I didn't have mental space to find guests. I didn't have mental
Mm-hmm.
space to talk for an hour and to do all of that. And then I wasn't going to be my best me, right? For my
Right.
communities because I was stressed out. I had anxiety. All that was
Mm-hmm.
on my mind was, did I get this mortgage approval yet? Did I get the clear to close yet? Did the appraisal pass? Right? Like that was
Right.
the
I
only thing.
mean,
And then on top of that, right? And because you just went through it, with your own
mm-hmm.
house or whatever.
Yeah. I
And then
mean,
it
it
was
is.
also, go ahead. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go
Now, I
ahead.
was gonna say, I mean, it is stressful. Like,
Right.
you
Beyond
can be
stressful.
very stressed if you don't set realistic expectations to yourself.
Man, listen.
Yeah, like you need to, offer the best you every time you
Yep.
go on stage, right? And
Yep.
and doing a live or recording a video is going on stage, folks. And
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
if and some people they got rituals, to because they want to, get in that
Right.
headspace and be
Right.
ready to go
Yeah.
kill it, right? Because
Yep.
people are
Yep.
coming to see the best you. So that's
Yep.
why it is important to step back and understand, am I my best if I were to go and commit to
Right.
something? And that's also one thing. You committing to something that you know you cannot sustain. So burnout
Absolutely.
only comes whenever we promise something and under deliver, and now we have that
Exactly.
pressure. See that's my thing. I don't like promising too much. Like
Right.
coming out because others are uploading daily to YouTube.
Right.
But the question
Right.
is, do they have ongoing situation where they have to buy a house, or they have to drive 4 hours
Right.
away, or they have to stay in a hotel,
Right.
or do they all those things? What is your current situation?
Right.
Maybe they already got everything set up. They've been living in their home
Right.
for a year, 2 years. They don't have
Right.
any other jobs but YouTube or about content creation or all that. So they can afford to go every day doing live. So, that's why it's dangerous to look at other people's,
Yep.
dynamic and try to
Yeah.
take that on when you
Yeah.
don't have the same reality. You just got to, understand. And one thing that, huh, personally, because my previous YouTube channel that I lost had over 120,000 subscribers. But
What?
setting,
That's
yeah,
OD.
yeah. Yeah, long story. We'll talk about that
All right,
off the
all right.
cameras.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
setting that realistic expectations with people, people will
yeah.
respect you for that. They will
Yep.
know, okay, because we're
Yeah.
all humans. We're all
Yeah.
human. We have families. We have,
Yep.
things we do outside of here. And just like you, this does not pay my rent. It doesn't pay my electricity. I'm
Right.
happy for those
Right.
that,
Right.
do I have the ability? Absolutely, right?
Right.
Was I ever paid by YouTube? Yes, right?
Right.
But no, I
Right.
like you, I
Right.
just bought my house. It
Right.
was
Right.
stressful.
Right. Right.
I was not
Legit.
a
Yeah. Yeah.
burden.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I could have hit you up in December. I wasn't
Right.
doing that because I bought my house in
Right.
February. So
Right. So
my
so
priorities
you
were
just went
somewhere
through it.
else.
Right.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
mean,
Yeah.
so and that's the thing, but that doesn't and see that's where for beginners in this. And being a
Yeah.
beginner doesn't mean you have 5 subscribers.
Yeah.
You can have 5 subscribers and be in this for a
A
long
pro.
time.
Legit.
You
Yeah.
can be a professional and just have 5 subscribers. So,
Right.
identifying the level of experience based on subscribers doesn't mean anything.
Absolutely.
A professional when you're speaking to one, it doesn't
Absolutely.
take you, 5 hours to know this person knows what he's talking about, right?
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's just natural.
Right. Yeah.
I
No,
see people
absolutely.
that with one of my companies one time we went, and this is a good analogy, right? We went to cover a wedding with my production
Hmm.
company, and as I was recording, one of the guests came to me. The guest had the same camera I had in my hand, right? Same
Yeah.
camera, and then he said, "Oh, so that's what you're using and charging people a lot of money for?" I was
Right.
like, "Yeah, you have the same camera. I can understand that." He said, "So
Right.
why will I
What do you
pay
do
you
with
more?"
it? Right.
Yeah, why will I pay you more money instead of doing it myself? I told him
Right.
because you're not paying for the camera, you're paying for the experience behind
Absolutely.
the camera,
It's what you're delivering, right? It's the whole package. It's what you're delivering, right? It's
the
like
value
what you
proposition.
can, that's it. And knowing your worth and knowing what you're going to bring to the table that nobody else can bring to the table. And again, that can be applied in any industry because I can talk about that as a loan officer. Listen, I've only been doing this for 3 years and I know that I'm producing extremely well, right? And I know that although I've only been doing it for 3 years, how I talk to my customers, how I deliver service, how I stay on top of files, it's unmatched. So the same thing with content creation, right? Like the work that you put in and what you bring, or even like remote producing, you put yourself out there. And once you come to the table and so when I did my show the other day, like earlier last month, that I remote produced a show. When I got there, we had the space and I was like, I was a control freak, but this is my business, right? They're paying me. And it's like, I
Right.
know what that final output's going to be the day of the show. And so it was like, oh, India, but it's okay if you make mistakes. No, it's not. Absolutely not. This is my
No, it's
name.
not.
Then we
Yep.
got there. I had 4 cameras, and we're talking about, I had my ZV-1, my A6400, my A5100. Fulgens hit me up. He brought his A6400. We
I
had an
think I saw a picture of
SM7V.
that. Right, right,
That was right. He came, right. So he
right.
brought his SM7V. I brought my MV7. I brought the Rodecaster Pro. We got it all on tripods, right? I had my one light, right? I had my other 2 lights, right? So I had all my lights ready to go. And then I had the MacBook. The MacBook was connected to the main overhead. So we were using that to see what the show was, right? And it was like, okay. And then what I did, right? Run a show. Cause that's the other thing. It's also, I created the scenes. And so I sat each speaker down. I put a camera in front of each speaker. And then I said, all right, now I want to show you each scene. Then I went through scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. Rob, when you talk, Jackie, when you talk, when you do this, when you do that, you know what I mean? And then at the end of the first, because it was a 2-part show, at the end of that the first show, the day one, he was like, this was amazing, right? He was floored. And I said, this is exactly why I had very high standards and there was very little room for effort. There you go. That's the pick. You good, JP. You are on it. JP is on it.
I got
But
you, ma'am. I
absolutely,
got you.
right? But that's what it was, right? So it was all the cameras. I had the lights. I had the microphones. And then that's why I needed Fulgens, because not only was I doing the show, I was an actual presenter. So then Fulgens came in and he was my backup because I spoke as a financial literacy person for
Mm-hmm.
90 minutes. And there was no way I can do the tech support. So for those
Right.
90 minutes, I mean, I jumped in and out like if Fulgence had a quick question or whatever. But for those
Mm-hmm.
90 minutes, because we did breakout rooms in Zoom. So if people had issues, if there were, unmuting or whatever it is, then I had the tech support. So, but look at all those cables. Like it was
That is
a
insane. And
production, right?
there's no way one person can be managing that.
Absolutely not.
There's just
Nah,
no way.
nah,
You needed the
nah.
help, and I'm glad
I
Fulgence
needed,
jumped
yeah,
in.
with the
But
presentation, I needed the help. Like I did the day two on my own, but I wasn't presenting, right? So it was the same thing. But at that point, I was able to run around. But then it also goes back to knowing, right? So on day one, because I had help, I didn't get there so early. But day two, when I knew that it was going to be just me, I got there an extra half an hour early. I set everything up, right? There's more planning. And so just to tie it all back in, it's you know what, you know your worth. I knew that just a stream coming on and making them look good and the quality, that in and of itself, you're not going to find anybody else to do that for you. So yeah, I have the
right.
price point and yeah, I'm going to bring something to you, but this is why. Because once I tied everything in between Ecamm, between the overlays, I had lower thirds, right? I had it all set up. He was floored. He was like, "Okay, all
Yep.
right, now we're in business." And then
Right.
going back and just to tie everything we've spoken about, right? That was another reason why I stopped creating content because that was 2 Saturdays that I had to
Oh
do. It
wow.
was Saturday the 17th or whatever it was, and then the
Right.
following Saturday the 24th. Yeah, it was the 17th and the 24th. So I'm not doing ladies nights those nights because
No,
that what I
because
just did, that show was a real paid show, right? That
it
was
was
money. That was
packed.
my business. Right, exactly.
It was
So,
packed. And, a lot of
yeah.
people usually do not see the pre planning phase to
Nah,
going out and doing this,
nah.
right?
Yeah,
You got to pre plan and, rehearse, have
legit.
everything mapped out and knowing
Yeah,
exactly what cables go where, what exactly
yeah,
you want. And you also got to inform the client whenever I do. Actually, today I just did another production before my own show.
yeah.
So I was like, and folks that didn't know, folks, prior to this show, I finished in our production, and once India was trying to come in, we started having technical issues. Right,
Right,
there was no
right,
sound,
right,
and we were like, "Okay,
right.
what is going
What's
on?"
happening?
And
What's happening?
I know, but we didn't freak out. Right, we
No,
didn't freak
yeah,
out. We were like, "Okay, let's find where the issue is coming from," and
yeah,
I'm glad we're able to do that. If not, we would have
yeah.
found other ways. I have
That's
alternatives,
it.
folks. I mean,
Right.
you need to have a
Backups. That's it.
backup to I was already
Legit.
thinking, should I go on Zoom? Should I pull up
Right,
something else? Or I mean,
right.
we're going to go live, and see, that's what you got to think about. For those of you who want to make money, right? Like somebody's gonna pay you for something like you did.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
they're not gonna tell you to have a backup plan. You
Right.
cannot just go there, and if that goes down, you'll be looking like, oh, I'm sorry. No,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
you
it
gotta
was
swing
right.
it.
So even with that, so I had the same issue with the microphone that day with the that's how I figured out about the battery bank because I had my Rodecaster Pro on day one. Fulgens brought the power cable. So we were good to go because Fulgens got a Rodecaster Pro. So I was like, don't bring your Rodecaster Pro, but just bring the power cable. But then on day two, so I ordered that USB cable from Rode, but I didn't know that you needed a power bank. So I was plugging it into a regular brick. It
Right.
didn't work. I plugged it into my hub. It didn't work. And I was like, and so then finally I didn't have time to waste. And again, the MV7, right? But then that eliminated how many mics I can use. So literally, I put this in the middle and I was standing behind the cameras. And as each person spoke, I just switched, right?
Oh
Like I switched
wow.
it. That's what I did. And then the Stream Deck wasn't working. Listen, it's so issues are going to happen. And even if you don't have a backup plan, it's all right. What do you need to do? So I was like, all right, the Stream Deck's not working. I just need to I'll sit on the computer. And because I already had my scenes planned and all for that show, it was all in a folder. It wasn't like, yeah, the Stream Deck was convenient, but I had already everything planned in Ecamm that I just busted out my mouse and I just click, click, click
Yeah,
on
click,
the
click.
computer. And that's it with the mouse because it was already planned. But knowing all of those things, and again, that goes back to your value and your worth, being able to keep your cool and being able to say, all right, so this didn't work the way I wanted it to work, but because you do the proper planning and because you have the experience is no sweat. right? It's like, all right, we're gonna keep
Right.
it moving. We're gonna make it happen. So
Right. Yeah, I mean, they say that they don't usually put the best football players or the best athletes on scene. They put the ones that know how to,
right,
deal with the pressure. Because I mean,
yeah,
if you the best one may not deliver every single time you put them out there, but it's
right,
the ones that know how to deliver every single time. So it's not about having the best skills. It's about knowing how to handle the pressure and to
right,
deliver regardless of the pressure or the situation going out. You may not be the smartest guy in the room, but you may
right,
know few things that will make you look like you're the smartest one. So that is what people are paying for, that value that you have, knowing how to
yeah,
find your way around whenever, because somebody can be a pro, but you're just a pro at that. And once that drops, you don't even know what to do. You're just frozen.
right.
No,
And
a
then
true
what?
pro doesn't
Right,
freeze, right?
right, legit,
Just like
right. Because
earlier
it's like,
in this stream, your
right.
power bank went out.
Right. Right. And I was like, okay, hold on. I'll be right back. And right away, like I went to my cables all on the floor, but I knew I had a USB, USB-C, whatever. I had the cable. I was like, all right, cool. It's cool. I'm ready to
Yeah,
go. No big deal. That's
you know
it.
your
And then you just
equipment,
make it
right?
happen. That's it. Right.
Right. You know
Legit.
your equipment. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have one last
Yeah.
question for you, India, and
What
then
do
we're
we
gonna
got?
let you
What do
go
we
because
got?
I mean it's late. We're gonna let you go now. Um,
All right.
you've said you've done all that. How hard is it to find a gig as a remote producer or as a producer in today's society? How hard is it?
I think so now. I think now's a great time. I think there are more and more people and we see as in the content creation in our communities, whether it's Ecamm, whether it's Let's Get Live, like on all the Facebook groups that we're a part of, more and more people are for us, they're seeing that there's value in it and it's like people are getting into the game now. So now's the absolute time, but it's like you can have the content, but where do you get your customers from? So for me, a lot of my customers I got was through one, I'm a part of the LGBT chamber. So then when I come in, right, because everything again went through Zoom. So even if it was a Zoom, because you don't need Ecamm virtual camera, you don't need none of that stuff to go through Zoom. I always still use Ecamm when I'm giving my presentations, and I'll have my scenes and my overlays and then the real good green screen back when I had it and stuff. And when I did networking meetings with the chamber, when I did my first time homebuyer presentations, whatever it was, I always used the virtual camera because I gave my best presentation, right? That's what people were seeing of me. I made sure
Right.
I didn't dial in, I didn't use my earbuds. I could, if I wanted to, right? Use my AirPods Pro. And I said, no, I always connected with my external mic. I always connected with the best quality camera. I had the lights on, and then I used virtual camera and I used my scenes and my overlays. And then being a part of those networking groups, just coming in and having a great quality picture, having great quality image, and then having great quality sound, people started asking me. And then I became like when I was doing the networking events, I use that a part of my pitch of, well, you know what? I'm helping you to create your best, present your best self digitally, right? I do content creation, I do this, I do that. And then as people started to talk to me, it was like, all right. And that's how I personally got into it. So yeah, you can have the knowledge, but it's also about how do you put yourself out there, and it's about networking in the right groups. So if you want to make this my personal opinion, would be is if you do want to make this into like a business, remote production, a business, right? Kind
Right.
of like what you're seeing on the screen. You definitely want to be a part of your local business networking groups, Rotary, Chamber, any other, if there's a BNI chapter, whatever it is that you can be a part of for your community, and make yourself look really good on camera and present something and get a 30-second elevator pitch, and that's how you're going to get the deals. But then it's outside of that. It wasn't like, because it wasn't just then learning Ecamm. For me, the challenges when I did the show was, yeah, we went to Zoom, but then I had to learn breakout rooms. We had 100 participants on that Zoom, and it was 3 different banks and a realtor. So then it was, I had to do breakout rooms, and how do I assign, like, right, planning all of that stuff. And for me,
Right.
I had to learn, because usually for breakout rooms, what people do easily in Zoom is that they'll just let Zoom automatically generate the breakout rooms,
Right.
but that it wasn't going to work for the type of show that I was doing, right? Because I needed to have one day to get a room for bank A, another dedicated room for bank B. And what switched, so the group stayed the same, but what switched was the presenter. So I needed to do that work ahead of time and figure out how I was going to keep all of that and maximize all of
Right.
that. So yeah, you can give a great presentation. You can look good. You can have the A6400 with the 16 millimeter, but then I also had to plan. I created the scenes and the overlays for the organization. So I got the logos, I got the assets, I created lower thirds, right? It was all of that stuff that went
Yep.
into it. So being prepared, don't just say, "Oh, remote production, I can make a good penny." And no, there's if you can make good money, don't get me wrong,
Yep.
but there's more to it. And then it's also get it done right the first time, because you're putting yourself out there and you get that one referral, you blow somebody's mind the one time, and then that's going to
That's
lead to
it.
additional business. That's it. And then it's going
That's
to
it.
run from there. So,
Right. There is no in this digital age, let's say, there's no second chance, right?
no. Yeah.
You can make it or blow it. I mean, it's just what it
Yeah.
is, and
Yep.
you can, and you get an opportunity, you better
Yep.
make sure that you do your best on that
Yep.
opportunity, because from there it can open up a lot of doors for you. And yeah,
Yep.
it all goes from there. And tying that into content creation, for those of you who want to do content creation, well, that's why, because some of folks questions I've gotten is, some of my clients have been asking me, all right, JP, I see you have 3 4 cameras and all those
Yeah.
things going on, all those lighting and all that.
Right.
I
Right.
don't
Right.
need all that, do I tell them,
Right.
you don't need all that.
Right.
But
Right.
depending on the type of business you're trying to do, or what you're trying to
Right.
produce, you may
Yep.
end up needing it. So
Yep.
understanding it slowly, and also be connected
Yep.
to people and groups, and network into things that is going to allow you to keep growing is crucial, because when the time comes, you're going to need to learn this type of things,
Yeah.
depending on what you're doing. Like, not we didn't know I didn't start with 4 cameras. I know you didn't.
Right.
Like, nobody
No.
starts with that,
No.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, legit.
That's
I've
it.
listen, I started with the A5100 because I've had that camera because I love to take pictures. So I already had the A5100. I had it for like 3 or 4 months. But then when I realized that I was going to get into remote production, I was like, okay, I'm going to need a secondary camera. And that's when I
Right.
brought the A6400. And then, the pressure of me and my friends, Diana and Doc and David, all talking about the ZV-1. And they're like, listen, it's a vlogging camera. So then I picked up the ZV-1. And it was, one of those things that then it was, when I did the show, right? It was, I had 4 different speakers. So I needed all of those
You need
cameras
it. Yep.
and then some. However, it's also about knowing your resources, because then I said, like, so for instance, I said that Fulgence had to bring his camera. But then the backup plan, and having that backup plan, I said, well, if I didn't have Fulgence, so some of you guys may not have a partner that you can coordinate with, or a friend that's local that can help you with the gear. My backup plan was that I was going to go to one of the local shops. There's out in Jersey, it's something called Bergen County Camera, and rent a camera and a lens for 2 days so I can be ready to go for the show, right? Because I said, listen, you rent the camera, you rent the gear. So knowing all of that and having that planned out, so
Yeah.
yeah, you'll need to add and stuff, but then there are times where it's like, you know what? So let's say if I have another guest, I'm not buying another camera no time soon. So if I have another show
I
and
was gonna
there's
say,
five or
you
six
you're
people,
already set for a minute,
right,
unless
I'm
you
set
get
for a
that
minute, but
30
but
grand
if I
contract
do
that
get,
requires it.
right, exactly, right, then that's different. Then it's gonna pay for itself right then and there. But if
Exactly.
not, if I get another show that I have maybe 1 or 2 more guests, I already said, you know what? I'll just rent the camera. I'll rent the camera for 2 or 3
Exactly.
days. It may cost $100, $200, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? But it's not gonna be, because the A6400 with the 16 millimeter lens, that's $1,300.
Right.
If you got to think
It's
about
not cheap.
the value proposition, right? Like, so okay, maybe I'll rent the camera for a day, invest, and then figuring out from there. So
Yeah, awesome. Hey, folks, awesome conversation that we had with
yeah,
India
man.
today. India, I want to thank you
Yeah,
again
man.
for coming on board here. Before I let you go,
Yep.
hey, what's next for India? What's next?
The,
I know
the
you got the
studio.
studio coming, right?
The
Uh,
studio. That's it.
when
I
are we?
mean, so I'm that's it. I'm back to live streaming. Today was the first live stream. I'm doing
Welcome
ladies night.
back,
I've been
India.
thinking about, thank you. I'm excited. I'm doing ladies night again on Saturday, just doing
Mm-hmm.
something similar how we did today. I'm back. This is what I've been doing, kind of getting it up. I'm gonna be on Kirk's show, Kirk Nugent, on
Mm-hmm.
May 19th. So that's in a week and a half.
Yeah, in a
I'm
week and
gonna
a
go
half.
back
Mm-hmm.
to now creating some content. Like I said, I spoke to RK3, and we're gonna do some follow-up videos to our loopback video. We're gonna do a whole. We're planning that, so that's already in
Nice.
the mix. And that's it. Just trying to get back in the groove of things. I'm 100 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm like 1,500 hours away from being monetized. So I know getting back
Nice.
in the mix, right? Getting back in the
Nice.
mix. I
Nice.
know that I'll get monetized if I, again, consistency, but I know by the end of the
Mm-hmm.
summer, I'm sure I'll be able to be monetized. I'll have both, the subscribers, the content, and
Mm-hmm.
not that that's what my number one goal is, but that's going to be there. And then long term is buying my next house, making it an investment property. That's it. That's the next long term goal, my
Look
second
at that,
house.
folks. Look at that, folks. So you already know. You already know. For those
Yeah.
of you who don't know it, you need to go subscribe to her channel. Go ahead and
Thank you.
smack the subscribe button. Support India. She got some
Thank
amazing things
you.
coming, and also her new studio she just moved into.
Yeah.
She's about
Yeah.
to show us some things, and we will learn
Yeah.
from her as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so India, again, I want to thank you for coming.
Yeah, man.
Fantastic
Thanks
conversation.
for
We've
having
learned a
me.
lot from you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And why not come back again once that
Yeah.
studio is all set?
I
And
got you.
show us
I
some
got you.
goodies, folks. Show us some
Right.
goodies. All right, family. So this will wrap up the show. As you guys know, we'll be having some amazing gladiators again on this channel. So you want to stay subscribed and turn on the bell so that you do not miss any episode from this channel. All right, my name is JP Hightek. I was happy to be here, and remember, you can go ahead and get yourself some free overlays and some goodies by checking out RTN Streams, the sponsor for this show. I'll see you guys next time. Like I always say, shalom. Bye bye, folks.